I can't with myself. Hey cutie foodies, it's Sweet Pea here, and today we have a 5-cup bowl, if you will, instant ramen mukbang for you today. So we have in this bowl our Sapporo Ichiban Japanese noodles and chicken flavored soup. In this bowl we have our OG Maruchan ramen noodle soup and oriental. And then our cups, one is Chipotle chicken, hot and spicy chicken, and hot and spicy beef. And then we also have a little bit of green Tabasco here, which is delicious, to just give it a little extra flavor, if you will. Now, I am practicing my chopstick skills, so don't come for me too much. I'm still learning. These things are very, very hard. I mean, kudos to the Asian culture for you guys learning how to do this from a young age, because, baby, my hand hurt. I'm right-handed. I tried with my left hand. I'm not ambidextrous at all. So it just is what it is. Ooh, message. But we're not going to worry about these messages too much. My friend is showing me pictures of her cat. Hey Holly girl. So, what we're gonna do, I have this on mute, well, on pause, but I want to play it. I love Stephanie Sue. I'm just getting into her channel. See, I always have, like, my nails right now are just like, and I have to remember to keep it up here, because it's as if you were writing with a pen. And to move this. See, I can do it without picking up food, but then it's like a freaking issue, and then I let this get all gelatinous, but it's easier to pick up. Let's try this one. This is the Oriental flavor. Mm. 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 That one is a favorite of mine. So, I love it. Usually what I do is have some like Red Hot and some Sazon. Sprinkle that in there. Bomb. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to need you to try it for yourself. Okay. Get a little bit more of this. See, I did it again. Whatever. And we have a special guest, Kobe, in the corner. We also have some Dasani. And then I have some Dasani with like a little juice packet. You take a swig of this. This is great flavor. Crush. So today our story is kind of freaky. Welcome to the 31 days of Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Next to my birthday. We're going to try the Sapporo Ichiban now. Mmm. 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 Good. Mmm. Traditional quality of Sapporo Ichiban. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I think that's what it is. Ichiban. Ichiban. This one they say you can, when you cook it, it's still instant ramen. But these noodles have a different texture than these. And obviously these, because this is the same, it's just in a cup. They said you can add any meat, vegetables, or eggs. That one is good. I got it from Stop and Shop. Depending on where you are, yours may be giant. But up here in Jersey, it's called Stop and Shop. Remember, Deborah? mm. 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 Now, I usually eat I haven't eaten all morning. 11:29. This is brunch. I usually, and I do have a fork here, just in case, but I want to learn because I want to go, you know, I'm going to try new things. But anyway, this one is Chipotle chicken. What the hell what I was talking about? This is probably going to be so nasty, you guys. That tastes so much better than the regular chicken flavor. I have to get more of that. Oh, yeah. Depending on where you are, it's called Giant, but it's called Stop and Shop up in the northern states. But anywhere they sell, like, international cuisine. I have to try these with my Tabasco. Let's see. Struggle. Okay. First of all, it's easier if I have it up here. And let's get this little one. Because you can see, I can't. I don't know why. And I was doing this all last night before I caught myself embarrassing myself in this damn camera. I don't give a shit. But, oh, that's what I was talking about. Halloween is my favorite holiday next to my birthday, which I'm a Gemini. So if you are a Gemini, holla, Gemini's in the house. It is not Gemini season, but it's always Gemini season. And don't forget that. So, for the 31 days of Halloween, and you can write in at itssweetpea87@gmail.com if you have anything that you want me to talk about. But we're going to have discussions about, for all 31 days of October, we're going to have discussions about murders that took place on Halloween. Now, I'm obsessed with murders. I'm obsessed with serial killers. I'm obsessed with. I'm nasty. I don't like this one. You see, this is why I like put my instant lunch cups in the microwave instead of just letting the water cook the noodles, because it's so fucking bland after that. What the hell? But I like true crime, suspense thrillers. My favorite genre of anything to watch is horror. I'm obsessed with American Horror Story. I've been watching that anthology series since day one. I have to put some Tabasco in this. It's fucking disgusting. Let's try the hot and spicy chicken. What do I do with it? Oh, it's still on there. And ugh. Oh, it's so nasty. I knew I shouldn't pick up no damn Chipotle flavor. You know how you eat something or you smell something, well, you eat something and it makes you want to gag? That's what that's doing. I'm going to try it with the Tabasco, but I think it's just gonna be nasty. All these is gonna be nasty since, ugh, any fucking way. I love the ID Network, Deadly Women. That's a good one. There's so many shows. They have Lieutenant Joe Kenda on there. This is the last season of his show, which I'm sad about, but he is the truth. Okay. Obviously, I'm making a mess, but I like the first 48 as well. So different things like that. Cold Case Files. Not like the TV drama, but the actual documentary type series. I love shows like that. Oh, it feels like I gotta poop. Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. Oh, well, let's finish trying these and making a fool of myself. Here we go. Ooh. Listen here, Mucharan, Maruchan, whatever. The people that make damn instant lunch in a cup. Put more seasoning in here. Damn. Like, why is that nasty? I'm gonna end up just eating the Sapporo Ichiban. This one is the hot and spicy beef. I don't know about y'all, but I don't eat stuff that I find that's nasty. These is 50 cents. Get what you pay for. And plus, maybe I had it sitting here too long. I like to put it in the microwave for like 4 minutes and then eat it. I don't even fill the water all the way up to the water line because I don't like when the noodles get all thick like this. I should have put this in a bowl too. Okay. Let's try this. This one's good. That chicken shit is nasty. Oh, it's hot. Okay. This is the entire story. Water. Whoa. It's hot and spicy beef. It's peppery, but it's not like, oh my god, I need a popsicle. You know? So, today's story for the first day of our 31 days of Halloween. And let me turn this around because it's not a sponsored video for any of these. But for the 31 days of Halloween, our first story is about little Timothy O'Brien. Now, if you're a parent, you're a child, you're an older brother or sister, you're an aunt or aunt, depending on how you say it, an uncle, then you know that during Halloween, children love to trick or treat. I'm a grown-ass woman, and I want to go trick-or-treating. Why? Because I don't want to go to CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Walmart, or none of them marts, or Target, whatever the hell you want to call it, even though the damn symbol is Target. Well, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to go there and spend $50 for candy when I can get it from you for free. And anyway, we all love to trick-or-treat or have trick-or-treated in some form of fashion. Halloween parties, whatever. Halloween is one of those holidays, although we can't get the day off, we like to party, we like to eat, and we enjoy ourselves. Message. And unfortunately, this Halloween, little Timothy O'Brien, I'm sorry, my back itch. Little Timothy O'Brien, I don't give a shit. It's my back. I'm gonna itch it if it itch. I washed my ass this morning, did you? Little Timothy O'Brien. Damn, that's good. Was out with his dad October 31st, 1974. In a town, I forgot the name of the town, but they lived in Texas. I think it was Pasadena. I'm not too sure. His father and his sister, a neighbor, and their 3 children were all out trick-or-treating. Everybody in the neighborhood was trick-or-treating, right? So, at the end of the night, as all children do, Mommy, Daddy, I want some candy. Can I have some candy? Oh my God, I'm gonna die if you don't give me some candy, please. And that was me. I always wanted to eat my candy. But all parents, you can't eat your candy until we check it, right? So, little Timothy O'Brien, unfortunately, did not get that luxury that night. Why, you must say? Because when he asked for his candy, Dad, can I have some candy before I go to bed? His father said yes, and proceeded to hand his child, and this may be longer, but a pixie stick. Now, if you are young and you don't know what a pixie stick is a piece of paper that has candy dust in it. And it's basically sugar and color, and you pour a bunch of them in your mouth and you get all hyped up, right? So he gave him a pixie stick, and as soon as little Timothy O'Brien ingested the pixie stick, he began to convulse, he began to vomit, and all of that horribleness, that you wouldn't expect to happen on something as innocent as giving your child a piece of candy. So he's violently thrashing and throwing up, and and I know his mom, she had to have been going through it. The daughter was fine. Obviously the husband was fine. It was just the son. And then, like, what the hell? Like, all he had was this pixie stick. Like, what is going on? So they take him to the hospital, and unfortunately, little poor Timothy O'Brien passes away en route to the hospital. And he had a younger sister. He was 8 years old. I believe she was about between 5 and 6 at the time. So when they did little Timothy O'Brien's autopsy, come to find out, he had been poisoned. Who the hell is poisoning children on Halloween night? Like, how warped are you that you have to try to destroy, one of the most favorite holidays ever? Little kids going out getting free candy, dressing up, and you got your little Tatianas with their little whole costumes on, like, come on. Like, how dare you, right? So, obviously, the parents and the family are questioned by the police. That are investigating his death. They want to know how he came about to be poisoned with cyanide, and they want to find out who did it. Like, this is horrible, right? Anybody would want to find their child's killer. So they go to his optician, church deacon, head of the school bus program father, and who, by the way, is Ronald O'Brien. And they're asking him, like, hey, dude, like, you know, what houses did you go to? You know, did anybody seem suspicious? You know, the normal questions that you would ask a grieving father over the death of their child if you're trying to solve their child's murder. Correct? Okay. So, Mr. O'Brien, Ronald, he is explaining himself, and he's saying, you know, how they went trick-or-treating, obviously, and let's try this. Come on, damn it. Shit. That's good. I love jalapenos. And even though this is a milder Tabasco sauce, I freaking hate Tabasco sauce. I'll try it in something, but I won't eat it on its own. This shit right here is lit. Tabasco, when I reach sponsorship status, holla at me. Anyway. But you can holla at me now. I mean, you know, send me some free Tabasco sauce. So I ain't gotta pay. This was expensive. That little ass bottle. But anyway, so he proceeds to tell them, okay, we were trick-or-treating. You know, we were out with this one, that one. We went to these houses. But you know, there was a suspicious man that gave me the pixie sticks, right? So the cops are like, well, tell me about this man. And he's like, well, I can't really tell you much. All I know is that he had a hairy arm. The lights were off on his porch. He handed me five. Mind you, I'm a grown-ass man. Standing on your porch in the dark. No porch lights, no street lights, no lights from anywhere. And you hand me 5. Why are you giving me 5 pixie sticks? Why am I taking 5 pixie sticks from you? That's neither here nor there. But he gives me 5 pixie sticks, and I catch up with my group. I hand them out to the kids, and, you know, we all go about our business, right? He said, you know, when they first came to this house, they were ringing the doorbell. Nobody answered the door. So he told everybody else to go on ahead. Go. I'm going to catch up with you, right? And he decides to wait for whomever is home to answer the door in this dark-ass house. Now, I don't know about you, but I know when I came upon anybody's house that was dark, even if they had a damn bucket on their stoop or, you know, anywhere near the door, I wasn't going over there. My mama taught me better than that. You're a grown-ass man. Why you leading all these kids to some dark house? Really? So anyway, they start talking to the neighbor that went with him and their children. And he's, you know, he corroborates the story up until the point where they split up. He doesn't know what happened, you know, after they split up. All he knows is that they went to this house. The person or people that were residing inside did not open the door. They did not answer the door. There was no candy outside. The lights were off. And so he took the children and went on. And Ronald O'Brien stayed behind. And then when he caught up to them, he dished out the pixie sticks. And then they saw a little boy from church or whatever, or a little girl, I'm not too sure, but they saw a child from church, and he gave that child the last pixie stick, because it was only 4 of them. Well, 3 of them at the time, I'm sorry. So, in continuance of, you know, still trying to figure out what was going on, you know, the police are starting to get suspicious of Ronald. He keeps changing his story up. You know, then they do some more digging, and they find out that Ronald O'Brien took out not 1, not 2, but 4 different life insurance policies on both of his children for the upwards of 60,000 smackaroos. And they also found out that Mr. O'Brien was 100, listen, picture it, $100,000 in debt. Now you might say, oh, he was an optometrist, he could have paid that back. Oh no, because Mr. Ronald O'Brien was about to get fired for, I believe it was embezzling or something like that, some type of fraud from his job. They were closing in on him, they were crouching down on him, and he knew that the jig was up. And the police's theory is that, okay, well, since he knew that the jig was up, he had to figure out a way to come up with some money, because they were losing everything. His car was about to be repossessed. Their house was being foreclosed on. He was about to get fired. You have 3 other mouths to feed besides your own, so it's like, what am I going to do? Instead of being a grown-ass man, filing for bankruptcy, and picking yourself and your family up from the bottom up, he decides to go to a hardware store and proceeds to ask the clerk at the hardware store, how much cyanide would one be able to purchase at one time? And when he found out that it was only 5 pounds, he got mad and he left. Then Mr. O'Brien would go to his coworkers and friends and all these other people and say, well, I wonder how much cyanide does it take to kill someone? Or, wow, this amount of cyanide would just take this many people out. Who does that? A few months before his son passed away, he took out another insurance policy. And in a few weeks before, within like the same few days, he took out another one. So, what Mr. O'Brien did was buy cyanide from somewhere. They don't officially know exactly where he got it from, but he purchased cyanide from somewhere, from somebody. He got it. And he opened the pixie stick. Now, if you've ever seen a pixie stick, I'm trying to think. They're rolled up very tight. And it's really hard to get that little paper open. And he poured the very top part, I want to say maybe this much, had cyanide in it. And the asshole stapled it together. So obviously, if you're a parent and you want to kill your child, instead of checking their candy and you know that you did something to it because you need this money, you are going to just administer it to them. Now, had Mrs. O'Brien, Diane O'Brien, checked the candy, or maybe if he asked his mom, then she would have been like, oh no, it's a staple on here. You're not eating this. Like, who the hell is, like, come on, you could have swallowed that by mistake, ripping it off, or, something like that. Because when it's Halloween and it's candy, you're not thinking about, oh, let me carefully open this. We always, and, especially little kids. You want to get to this good stuff, the sweet stuff. So they found this out. They alerted the other families. What they had done was come when it's all over the news, and everybody's talking about it in the newspapers. The whole town is whispering. They brought it into the police station because they were scared. They didn't know what the hell was going on. And so, they tested those pixie sticks from his neighbor's children. And it came back positive for cyanide. Now, the cyanide that was in the pixie stick that killed his son was enough, they said, to kill 2 grown people. The cyanide that they found in the neighbor's pixie sticks were enough to kill 4 grown people. Mind you, that's in each stick. Yeah. So they notified the last family, which was the young child from their church, and the family was going frantic. The mom and dad was tearing up the damn house. Looked like a freaking burglary happened there because they could not find this damn pixie stick. And they did not want their child to die. Your parent, any human being that has any type of empathy, you don't want a child to pass away, especially over some damn candy. They go into their child's room and the child is asleep. But lo and behold, the pixie stick is crumpled up in his hand. Like he's holding it. He was about to eat it, but he fell asleep. Thank God, you know? So they obviously got the pixie stick. They got it tested. And again, enough cyanide to kill 4 grown human beings. So with all of this evidence, the debt, all of the life insurance policies, the house being foreclosed on, him losing his job, and all of that going on over there, the police was like, okay, you know what, Ronald, the jig is up. Your ass is grass. So they lock him up, they book him, they charge him. He has a trial, and he now, throughout this whole thing, I'm innocent, I didn't do this. But it's like, okay, you know, fine, you're innocent, so let's go, come with me and show me this house that you went to, where this mysterious hairy dude gave you these 5 pixie sticks, right? So they went around the neighborhood twice, and he finally found the house. They came up to the house, and the woman of the house, the lady of the house, she came to the door. She said the only 2 people that were there that night were herself and her daughter. They gave out candy up to a certain amount of time, and they ran out of candy, and that was it. Her husband was at work until 11 o'clock that night. The husband came in. Mind you, he's not a hairy dude. He says, you know, I was at work. I forgot exactly what it was he did, but he had a pretty good job. And he was at work until 11 p.m. that night. He didn't trick or treat. He didn't take his kid trick or treat, and he wasn't home. So that's why they turned the lights off, because they didn't have any more candy to give out, and they weren't going to answer the door anyway. So, like, why are you going to a dark house? Nobody does that during Halloween. So they corroborate this guy's story from about, let's say, 100 plus people. He was at work. So he has a solid, rock solid alibi that nobody can hammer down, right? So the mom had no motive to kill her child. I mean, yeah, they were in debt, but she wasn't going around asking people about cyanide. She didn't go to the hardware store trying to purchase it. She didn't give her child the damn pixie stick. So luckily their daughter, which was their surviving child, she didn't partake in that either. So the 4 other children did not eat the pixie stick. It was only Timothy O'Brien. So for his death, he received he was found guilty of capital murder. And then for the other 4 children, he was found guilty of 4 counts of attempted murder, in which his subsequent sentence was the death penalty. And this was the first time in the state of Texas that they executed anybody by lethal injection. So, of course, there were protesters against, lethal injection and the death penalty and whatever the case may be. And then there were people for him, like, oh, he needs to die now. Now, this took place in 1974. In 75, he was apprehended and arrested and charged with the crime and went to trial. He was supposed to be executed, I believe, the same year, if not 1976, but his lawyers kept getting a stay of execution by filing appeal after appeal after appeal. If you know anything about our judicial system here in the United States, you get several appeals before they, before they execute you, and that gives you a stay of execution. Or you can petition to the governor or the Supreme Court, is whichever one, but I believe it's the governor, or the president. I'm sorry, the president. Somebody, higher up. Shit. You can petition to one of them that you won't be executed, and it's a stay of execution, but you have life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. That was never given to him. So he ran out of his appeals. The Supreme Court denied his last appeal for a new trial and yada, yada, yada. And he was executed by lethal injection, I believe in April. It was like April 2nd, between April 2nd and the 15th, the date doesn't matter. He was executed in 1984 for murdering his son and attempting to murder 4 other children in chance to cover up that crime. So because of all this, the news media dubbed him the Candyman, or the man that killed Halloween, or the Halloween killer. So it's like, you know, it's just crazy to me. Like, if you were swimming in debt, would you want to, like, there's a lot of people that do this, don't get me wrong. There's women that marry men, there's men that marry women, or people that marry, you know, people of the same sex if they have a lot of money, and you know, they just want them for their money, and then when they get tired of them, they want to kill them. Like, would you consider doing something like that if you were in deep debt, or if you just wanted somebody's money? Like, could you kill for money? And if you could kill for money, would you be able to kill your own flesh and blood? And not just saying like your child, but your mother, your sister, like anybody in your family who you know, or maybe you would forge their will, or, you know, take out an insurance policy on them or whatever, that you would be getting money for them. Would you be willing to kill them in some sort of way to get that said money? To get yourself out of a bind, or just to keep your lifestyle afloat? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this story, please give this video a like and a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Don't come for me for my chopstick skills. I'm gonna get better. But yeah, this story kind of like freaked me out, and I was just like, this nigga killed his son for $60,000. Oh, and before I let you go, the killer was the father, but the killer was, he said at the boy's funeral that he was going to take the $60,000 in life insurance policies that he took out on him to go on a long needed vacation. What the fuck? He gave no fucks about his son at all. All he cared about was loading up his pocket with some blood money. But that's all I have for you guys today. I will catch you tomorrow with our second installment of 31 Days of Halloween. And I hope to see you guys back here. And until then, I bid you adieu. And also, don't forget, if you have any crime stories from Halloween that you want me to talk about, please email me at itssweetpea87. That's ITSSWEETP number 87 at gmail.com. And we'll be starting up the Boyfriend Chronicles again soon, so you can also drop those anonymous emails, or if you don't want to remain anonymous, it's up to you. Just let me know in the email. You can drop those in that same email address, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.